Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday. These are the Internet Radio Superstars.
Holly. Michaela.
Sean.
And I'm Colin. And tonight we watched a movie that was chosen by...
Sean. What did you choose for us to watch this evening?
Tonight, I chose to go after vampires. With Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Dun, dun, dun.
The movie from 1992.
Directed by?
Directed by Fran Rubel Kazooie.
Do we know him?
Her.
She.
Her? Sorry, her.
That's all right.
There.
You never know.
No.
No?
Unless you've seen movies that she has produced, including 1997's Orgasmo.
The
Okay.
Matt
I've heard
Stone,
of
Trey
that.
Parker.
Yeah, I was like, I've heard of that, yeah.
But she
And
produced,
The last thing she produced was Telling Lies in America. Other than that, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Tokyo Pop in 1988 were the only ones she directed.
You know what, though? Like, she did this, and
There you go.
what else do you need to do?
There you go.
So somehow, right, like by directing this movie, because I think, did she co-produce it? Or was it like her husband co-produced it? But somehow, like, she's packaged with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So she is attached as an executive on the TV show.
Oh, is she?
So it's like she's set for
Yes. Good
so
for
anytime
her.
there's a
know
Buffy
that.
coming around,
Good.
it's
She's like,
yeah,
I get those checks.
Yeah.
I saw even like Angel and stuff. She was an executive producer
Wow.
on. So like the whole
I think
universe,
it's just
she's
she
getting
collects-
residuals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just checks.
This
for-
is like
That's
her
the dream.
property.
Right?
Yeah.
God, that's the
She must
dream,
have
right?
changed enough written by Joss Whedon. She must have changed enough of Joss Whedon's script for they're like, all right, we have to give her a producing credit on this.
Was she
I'm
credited
not
as a
according
co-writer?
to the internets, but you know the internets have been wrong before.
Yeah, but now at this point, like the production of this has kind of gone into legendary territory.
Yeah.
Because now it's interesting watching this movie tonight, just because like I saw it in 1992, and in the intervening years, right, there's been the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. So
Indeed, which I think you all have watched.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the only one here who hasn't.
Gotcha, okay.
Remember,
Oh, so this
remember-
is your Buffy the
So this
Vampire
is
Slayer.
this is my Buffy.
Yeah.
No, this is my Buffy.
Okay.
I watched this. I grew up with this. I've seen this a million times. I didn't watch the series until maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, I watched it as an adult too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We discussed this on a very earlier podcast while you were all watching Buffy. I was watching Charmed.
Yes,
So that's where
exactly.
That's where
Right.
the divide
Yep.
comes. So if they ever make a Charmed movie, I'm in.
Well, I think that Joss
but this is
Whedon,
my Buffy.
he's always said that, because I remember even reading like a Fangoria, I think, when this came out, right? He was talking even then about like how he had this darker version in mind, and he's like, well, I'm kind of I'm glad the movie got made, but it's not really the thing that I wanted to do. And then he
Right.
had the opportunity to actually make, I think, the Buffy that he envisioned, and that became the TV show.
Indeed.
So this was like 1982. If I am not mistaken, the reason that this movie exists is because Francis Ford Coppola announced that he was going to make Dracula. Right, that was like a huge thing. Like this director of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now was going to do Dracula.
Right.
And so everybody kind of got on the vampire bandwagon, and Buffy was the first one that came out that summer, and Dracula came out a couple months later. So it was like that was the summer of vampires, right? And I think Roger Corman got in the mix with like Dracula Rising or something. It seemed like this it fueled vampires again in Hollywood, and I think that wave kind of ran until, because you had Buffy and Dracula. So then they're like, well, we got to do the Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire, and that was 2 years. So it's like from Buffy to Interview with the Vampire was like vampires are back.
They're back.
There's a resurgence every few years.
Yeah.
And the irony is that Rutger Hauer is in this movie, and that is because Anne Rice kept on talking about her vision of Lestat. was Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they cast him in this movie because he'd been in the zeitgeist as Lestat. So,
bravo.
Yeah. So,
Rutger Hauer wearing his puffiest shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
To be in this movie.
They went with like the full-on like Dracula, you know.
Yeah.
They
like
did.
Bela Lugosi.
With a medal and everything, and a nice like red vest,
Yeah.
and
He's a baron.
yeah, truly,
He's a count.
little mustache
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
High hair. He's doing it.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
There are a lot of people in this
A lot of
movie.
people are.
Yeah.
Are any of them making the wall of our show?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
You want to go through that first?
We might as well
So-
get into
Might
it.
as well,
All right.
just
Yeah.
so we can cover who's all.
Yeah,
in
we
this
can
movie
cover who's
via
in this movie.
There's
Igor's
a lot of people.
Igor's going to be busy mailing out those
Busy.
certificates and
Yeah.
chiseling into the wall. So
So
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just-
Oh, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
the irony, of course,
the
is
Stone
that
Castle wall.
Right, it's like the
you
wall
know?
from like Lost, where
Yeah.
everyone's names are carved in it.
as we go through this, though, because everybody's like, well, who's in the movie?
we
And we're going to say the people who are making it to the Saturday Night Freak Show are probably not the people you're thinking of who are in this
okay.
movie.
Oh,
Okay,
all
so
right.
first of all, we do have Christy Swanson,
All right.
Of course.
the star of Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Buffy
is
herself.
making it to the wall. Why?
Oh, the one where she's
Deadly Friend.
Deadly
Yes.
Friend.
Yes. yes. I forgot about that.
Yep. And
All right,
also the Phantom, the Billy Zane.
Oh, the
yeah!
Phantom.
The Phantom.
Yeah, okay.
Phantom.
Yeah, because she
Yes.
had a run there for a while, right?
did.
Where she was in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The Chase, right? With
Man,
Charlie
Mannequin
Sheen.
Charlie
I love that movie.
Me too.
You kidnapped me with a butterfinger?
I
Love that movie.
I used to watch it all the time.
She looks over that one time and she sees him as a clown, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "No, I just can't imagine it." That was great.
In the first Hot Shots movie, am I remembering that wrong? Or was she in one of them?
She's in one. I think she's in one of
She's
them.
not.
Hot Shots.
Well, maybe I'll look it up.
Not
because
sure.
Wasn't she in Mannequin 2?
Yes.
that is your area of expertise. You have to
Who was
tell
in
us.
Mannequin? Was that Kim Cattrall?
That's the first
That was
one. The
first
second
one.
one, Mannequin 2 on the Move, I'm pretty sure is Christy Swanson.
Wow.
Her first movie was a cameo at the very end of Pretty in Pink at the prom.
She was in Hot Shots.
Okay, she was in
1991.
I think the first one.
Mannequin 2 on the move.
Yes, I knew it.
Isn't she? Is she in Ferris Bueller?
Yes, she's
Like,
a small
okay.
part.
Ferris Bueller's Day
She's
Off?
the one
Yep.
that raises her hand and says where he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, where's my car?
yeah. I mean, she
Like
had a
Pink,
hot
the
streak
Chase,
there in Hollywood.
8 heads
for
in a duffel
bit.
bag.
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, she was in
Big
Big Daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah. They did I know I used to bring it up, I'm the only one that watched it, but they did an episode on Psych where it was like a vampire like movie centric episode, and she was like the main like guest star in it, and the other one was Corey Feldman.
Nice.
The title of
there
the
you go.
episode is Vampires Suck, and it's
Nice.
Of course.
so great.
Of course.
The main dude dresses up as Lestat, and then the black dude dresses up as Blackula, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's so good.
Oh, I love it.
I love it so much.
All right. Psych.
Yeah.
There you go.
Psych is a hilarious show. I love that show. Cracks me up.
Well, we're also adding Ben Affleck to the Saturday Night Freak Show Hall of Fame, and you're like, "What? Ben Affleck is in this
Basketball
movie?"
handling. What
Yes.
Ben Affleck movies have we
Phantoms.
watched down here? Or
Phantoms.
This, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dogma, probably.
No,
No,
but
we never did Dogma.
we did Chasing Amy.
Casey. Oh.
Believe it or not.
The
Wait,
Criterion
that was
Collection,
like in
Kevin
the
Smith
first
movie.
10 episodes.
Yeah, yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that a
Shit.
Brent movie?
I think it was.
That was a
yeah.
Brent. I was like, that screams a
Yeah.
Brent movie.
Yeah.
Thomas Jane is in this
Thomas
movie
Jane.
and also being added to the wall. So he's a mechanic in this movie. If you don't remember the movie so well, and Thomas Jane, welcome to Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame for your appearance in.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
What was the other one?
he wore a big wig, so he didn't look like himself. in
Oh, I know. He was jerking off in,
Yes.
the booth. Furiously fighting with his jacket. He was in City of Angels.
Yeah, Crow City of Angels.
Crow
There you
Oh
go.
my
That's
god!
right.
Forgot about that.
Oh my god, I forgot there was Thomas Jane.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Comedian Stephen Root
Oh,
joining.
Bravo. As
Love
we were
that
discussing
man.
during this movie, he's never been
He's
bad.
never done anything wrong.
He's never disappointed. He's never
No.
done
He's
anything,
never done anything wrong.
We love Stephen Root.
Do you remember the other movies that we've
could be
seen?
anything.
Yeah.
I know.
And
He's
it could
been,
be
he's been
anything.
in everything.
He was in George Romero's Monkey Shines,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
and he was in Ghost as a police sergeant.
Really?
Wow.
Stephen
Yeah.
Root. He's in everything you love.
All
You
right.
just gotta
He
look.
is.
Watch Ghost again.
It's like Where's Waldo. You just gotta look close enough to find him, but he's there. You know.
Yeah.
I said every day, King of the Hill Watcher. I hear Stephen Root's voice all the time. And
He's
I love
so
it.
great.
Yes.
Oh, but what did he actually play a vampire in? Anybody?
Oh
Anybody?
shit! Oh shit!
Anybody?
Fuck!
True Blood.
Did he
Oh
really?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Again, he's been in everything. Would never have guessed that.
So then we're moving to the hallway of fame, the lesser known folks. Ricky Dean Logan, who, when he showed up in this movie as a student who comes, there's vampires out there. I'm like, that's the guy from Freddy's Dead. He was the one who got the Q-tip in the ear.
Okay.
Freddy's Dead.
All right.
yeah.
I remember that. The guy with the hearing aid. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was in Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 as part of Needles' gang.
Okay.
Okay, so Michael
Hey,
Koplow
Needles.
was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was a student. I did actually notice him here only because MF Mad gave us pictures. I was like, oh, yeah. But he was most famously the guy, the lead under the stairs stair person in the
Okay.
people under the stairs.
Okay.
And
Oh,
he
no.
was also one of the hippies, I think, that Keanu Reeves or Gary Busey like cuts his hair in Point Break.
Okay.
Yep.
Real deep cuts here, yeah.
Deep
Yeah,
cut.
deep
The
cuts,
last one was
yeah.
also a deep cut. This is David Sherrill. He was Skank in The Wraith.
I remember
Okay,
Skank.
that was, yeah,
I remember
one of the
Skank, the
street
guy
toughs.
who drank like antifreeze and shit and had the fucking stutter. And
Yeah.
all. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Well, apparently he was a knight in a flashback sequence in
Oh,
Buffy
wow,
the
okay.
Vampire
All right.
Slayer, and he was also uncredited in the Charlie Sheen movie The Arrival.
Oh, with the arrival. Wow.
Arrival.
Yeah, that
We
was a-
did that. I forgot
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that.
Tarantulas and shit. We had a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's where the documentary for the animals, I think, the Hollywood animals started.
Yeah.
Or at least
who else
continue
is
on.
in this movie that's not, who aren't?
Luke Perry.
Yeah.
Oh, may
Oh,
he
Rest in
may he
peace,
rest.
yeah.
This was
Perry.
peak Beverly Hills 90210.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. When did it start?
89.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke
And that would have
Perry.
been what he was primarily known for, right? And
yeah.
this was his,
Dylan
like
McKay.
a big screen role.
What was his last name was? Yeah, I remember last name. Dylan.
Oh, believe me, it
Dylan.
was. I had the Barbie. I had the Jason Priestley Barbie too.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then who else is in the cast?
David Arquette.
Yeah.
Have we not put David Arquette on the wall?
Did we put him on before? How
I
many
think he's
screens have
already
we
I know. I was like, how many
Yeah.
screams have
Already-
we done?
I was, okay, he's on the wall.
Yeah, he's already been on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had the
Oh,
screens.
for sure.
Yeah, okay, he's on the wall. I was
For
gonna say,
sure.
He's gotta be, right? Yes.
Yeah, young
Yeah.
David Arquette.
Plus, what was that bug movie you brought?
Oh, yeah, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't watch that one, but watch the other ones.
Donald Sutherland.
Yep,
is in
Donald
this?
Sutherland.
Who was also on the wall.
Yeah.
As he should be.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland's in it.
Backdraft?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
He was in Backdraft?
He was in Backdraft 2, which we didn't do, but it's playing
we
the same
talked
part.
about.
Hilary Swank is also in
Hillary
this.
Swank
Yeah.
is in that.
Hillary Swank's
That
in
one is
this?
kind of, because I guess now Hillary Swank is
Have we
an
never watched
Oscar-winning.
Sometimes They Come Back Again?
Yeah, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
She in that one?
She's in
before?
that one, yeah. Before that?
She also had a small arc on 90210.
Oh.
That's
see?
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
She did. She was a single mother.
Oh, all right.
Worked at the diner.
And we got, and Paul Rubens.
Paul
yes.
Rubens.
Yeah.
He also
The
read.
characters that everyone remembers from this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I remember always looking at the, because this was also like the time, like I said, vampires were coming back. There was Vampire the Masquerade was a role-playing game that had these great like Timothy Bradstreet illustrations of like kind of grungy punk vampires, like street urchin vampires. And when I saw the trailer for this, it was like, oh, wow, that does not look like Pee Wee Herman.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in like a biker jacket with the rocker hair.
Right.
and-
No, but it does look like his mugshot.
It does, yeah.
Oh,
Now, when did that happen? Because
Before this, because
Yeah.
that inspired the look in this movie.
okay,
Okay.
yeah.
And because Paul Rubens thought this is the coolest he's ever
Now-
looked in his life.
Now, remind me, was it a regular movie theater or a porn theater?
I think it was I don't know.
Because I remember
thought it was
Fred
a porn
Willard.
theater.
Fred Willard was a porn theater, and I was like,
Okay.
well, yeah,
I
what
forgot
else are you
about
supposed
that.
to do there? Like, I mean,
Right, it's a
come
porn
on, it's a
theater.
porn
Like,
theater.
Yeah.
Like,
That's just
No.
because they recognize who's there.
yeah, it's like,
know?
but
Yeah.
like, come on, be
It
cool,
was-
guys, be cool, like,
know,
right?
see, I always just heard
Mind your
theater,
business.
but I didn't
Yeah.
know what
I was like,
going
I
on.
always heard theater, but again,
Yeah.
it was like 92.
Right,
So
and
maybe
that
I
could
didn't
mean,
know.
In New
'cause I was
York,
a
that could mean anything.
I was a child, so I don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah,
So-
it was like public lewdness or something.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
he was
gonna
charged.
put it off to porn theater and just give him a break on that.
Yeah. It was
Paul Rubens.
shocking, I guess, because it was kids
Pee-wee.
actor, Pee Wee Herman,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that kind of torched his career. And then he had
and then he became beloved again.
for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or
Well, no,
after
later,
the
later in life, because he went back on tour with the Pee Wee show, like live theater productions.
Yeah.
They got that
And-
Netflix movie. Was there one or two of those?
Oh, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, there was like a new Pee-wee's.
Oh, there was.
Adventure,
Yeah, there's a couple of new ones of those.
Now-
but yeah.
Being that we watched this like when it came out when we were both young,
Yes.
did you know that was Pee Wee Herman, or did
No.
you find out later?
Later.
Me
It
too.
was much later.
I had no idea.
No,
Yeah.
I knew I liked the character, but I didn't know
Right.
because then there was a shock one day. It was just like,
Oh my
what,
God,
Pee-wee is that
that's
guy?
Pee Wee Herman. Like, yeah.
No, that was a
It
shock.
was like
in my
10
youth.
years later, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
A tremor
Yeah.
of my youth was
Yeah,
finding out
same. Okay.
Paul Rubens was this character.
Well, actually, was that then? This is the same year as Batman Returns, right? Where Tim Burton, who
Yeah.
directed
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, put him in that as
Yeah.
like the Riddler's
He's a
father,
henchman.
right?
Yeah.
No, he's the father of the Riddler.
Oh, he
or
is.
not the
No,
Riddler, sorry, the Penguin.
Yes,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
is. You're right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Also with what's her name, who was the in Pee-wee's Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, I can't
what was her
think- I
name?
can't see her face right now.
Dottie. Was it Dottie? She was Dottie.
Oh, Dottie.
The mother.
Yeah, yeah.
She played.
Oh, yeah.
The mother
Penguins,
in
yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
Returns. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of
Rebel
people that
Daddy.
you'll recognize in this movie. The other thing that seems to be like in the zeitgeist at this time in 1980 or 92, when was Clueless?
That's the other thing I was
94.
Was it later?
94.
Because I thought this would make
95.
a great double feature.
Okay.
Yeah,
This and
95.
Clueless.
So that means like Heathers was before this.
Heather's was 88.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Heathers to me always seems like it's remembered because it was a movie that invented teen slang, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ironically, the guy who wrote Batman Returns. That was Daniel Waters.
Wow.
But like Heathers, Buffy, and Clueless all seem like they deal with like high school cliques where like everybody speaks like an alien language. It's hilarious.
Well, because they're all like Valley Girl, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Valley Girl would probably
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
the ancestral.
Yeah.
What's
like
your
like
sitch?
the Valley Girl was a huge trope in the 90s.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Huge trope.
That's so 5 minutes ago. You know, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. I can't even remember now watching it. I'm
It's
like,
a
was that invented
he
for
looks
the
like
movie?
A homeless.
Get out of my facial.
Yeah, so it's funny, right? These
Very.
It's
all,
funny.
you know,
very
yeah.
funny.
We're burying the lead here. We didn't talk about who wrote this movie.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, yeah.
We mentioned
I
it
didn't
earlier.
mention, but Joss
briefly.
Whedon wrote this movie.
Yeah, he had I can't even remember before he had written Alien, was it Alien Resurrection?
He did write Alien Resurrection,
And
and
there
he
was-
was also doing Roseanne.
And Roseanne, that's right. And then he got like this feature film produced, but it was after this that, you know, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show was really the thing that like
Yeah.
And
He
both
took
his
off.
parents were sitcom writers, right? That's my understanding. Is that one of them? I think his dad created some show. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't
but
remember. But I
He's
think
he is like an
Okay,
original
Tom
nepo baby.
Whedon, producer from New York, known for his work on television programs such as The Golden Girls, Benson, Alice, It's a Living, and The Dick Cavett Show. Whedon began his career as the original one of the original writers on Captain Kangaroo. He also collaborated with John Stone and produced the 1969 film Hey Cinderella. So yeah,
Yeah.
he was in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
What
nepo
would you-
babies are all around us, guys. They
Yeah.
always have been.
They really are.
How would you describe, for those of you who have seen both the feature film and the TV show, what are like the biggest like differences that you take away from it?
Yeah, but
Well,
There's not really a ton, to be honest.
Yeah, there's
Like,
not a ton of difference, but I mean, being that they don't have as much time to dive into it with a movie
Right.
as opposed to a
Right.
show, she is much more like they play up the ditzy bimbo in this more than
Yeah.
the TV
Yeah.
show.
Well, the TV show like kind of starts like it's a sequel, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Although the events are different, if I remember,
Yeah.
because in the TV show, there's like they had to move because like didn't she burn down the high school?
Yes.
To
Yeah.
kill all the vampires at the so that's how the movie was supposed to
Right.
originally end.
Right.
Yeah, and that was altered. So right, and so she's already
She's
knows-
already the Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the origin, and then the show picks up after prom. Well,
so,
kind of.
Yeah, it starts out she is the Slayer. She knows there's
In
no,
the show, she already knows she's the Slayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving to a new
interesting.
school, and of course it's the Hellmouth. This is where the vampires
Yeah.
all come from.
Yeah.
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 Well, in the show, she obviously has like her core like support group.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have that in this movie. In this movie,
Right.
she just has Luke Perry and Donald Sutherland.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So Donald Sutherland is then the Watcher. That's part of, I suppose, the Vampire Slayer lore.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it Anthony Head?
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Mhm.
takes
Show.
over,
Yeah.
I think, for Merrick in the
Okay, so
TV
he's
show.
not Merrick in the.
No,
Right.
he's Giles.
We do
He's
see
the-
her-
Giles. That's
yeah,
right.
we see her meet Giles in the show.
Okay, right.
That's like the new part that we see.
Right.
Isn't
Yeah.
that the first episode, right? Like, I'm the new
Yeah.
watcher.
Well, because
you
he
know,
works at the fucking library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So she is a chosen one, right? In both, the tone is a little different, I guess. In the makeup designs are different.
Yeah,
and
there's a specific design to the Buffy series vampires, isn't there?
Yeah, they have like full like
The
face
arched
appliances.
eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Here
this
they have
this are just fangs.
Yeah.
fangs. They have
They
ears.
They do have the
ear
ears.
tips.
But it looks like
Ears.
somebody took a bite out of the ears.
Yeah.
That's the design.
they're
It's
like
real
ribbed
weird.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real weird. But fangs. Big
like,
fangs.
It's like weird, like elf-like.
Yeah, it's a weird
Yeah.
elf-like look to them in this one.
But the other thing that I'm thinking is different right now. Like in the TV show, Buffy is kind of like middle class, suburban middle class. Her mom Joyce is like divorced, I think, when the
Yeah.
show starts.
Yeah.
This one is different though. This one, it's like she's wealthy.
She's rich. Yeah.
yeah, she's one of the upper class
Yeah,
girls.
she's
Yeah,
in
an
'cause
the-
upper crust, doesn't have to worry about too much.
Because
Yeah.
one of the insults of this movie is, God, you're acting like you're in a different tax bracket.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, okay. So what? So what's this movie about? How do we get into this? What is
Buffy.
Buffy. She is. She is. On the, like we said, on the upper crust in
Yeah.
high school. She's like a senior in this. So she's in. She's a cheerleader. She's involved in all of the kind of superficial groups
the
within
dance
the school,
committee
dance
and-
committee, and all that stuff. And then she finds out that she is the chosen one.
So what's
Because she's stalked by a creepy Donald Sutherland who just shows up everywhere
So there have been Slayers since
the dawn of time.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
the Dark Ages, as we're shown, which I forgot all about watching it tonight, that there are Dark Ages visions / flashbacks / dreams
Mhm.
where she is fighting Lothos. Is that his name?
Lothos.
Yeah.
Lothos.
the Vampire King or whatever.
Yes.
So every so many years, I assume whenever a Slayer dies, another one is born. Right?
Yep.
There's a Watcher to watch over them.
Yep.
The I didn't get the impression from the TV show, but from the movie, that's the Donald Sutherland character. Merrick he has the memories of all the other ones,
Like
right?
as soon as he's born, he knows he's a watcher.
But he's not immortal.
He's reborn.
So he always
Yes.
gets killed at some point.
he always
He's
dies
just
at some
train
point.
the Slayer, and then he gets killed.
Yeah.
So his mission is to try and find the current Slayer in California, in Los Angeles,
Yes.
in amongst like the Clueless set. So she is really clueless at the beginning of this movie. I mean,
Truly.
I guess that's the whole point of it, right? They turned it into like a coming of age maturity movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her and her friends like hang out and plan the dances and stuff like that. And how do we know that something evil is afoot? I think it's just vampire killings.
Yeah. I think
I was
people
like,
are just randomly getting
Like just
killed.
vampires? Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
really not.
Vampires show up.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty simple.
There's no subtext in this movie.
No, it's a pretty simple, straightforward movie.
Yeah.
Prom queen has to fight vampires is basically it.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not complicated.
No, but it's very fun.
So they have her and her friends have run-ins with the stoner
Yeah,
kids.
the stoner kids, the kids from the wrong side of the track.
Yeah,
You know.
so you get a Romeo and Juliet kind of situation set up here.
We've got
Star
Pike and Benny,
Yeah.
Luke Perry and David Arquette. I love it.
Beautiful.
Because they're always like sneaking into movie theaters and what have you.
The
Yeah,
waste
Buffy and
toys,
her
yeah.
crew hang out with the jocks.
Yep.
Yeah,
The classism's going on here.
Very obvious.
and then Donald Sutherland shows up.
Everywhere.
In the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
In a full trench coat.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he's going to recruit her. Now, she, of course, is like, I don't believe any of this, right? But how is he going to get her to accept her destiny?
He describes her dreams to her.
Indeed. And then he throws a knife at her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah. These nightmares.
yeah.
Nightmares that she's had about her past lives that she's never told to anyone. He knows all the details about them.
Yep.
And so she trusts him he wants to show her birthright. So she trusts him
No,
to go.
first he starts off as like, I want you to go with me to a graveyard
Yeah.
right
I'll
now.
show you your birthright.
He's like, who are you?
Yeah.
He's just like, come with me to the graveyard.
He needs to work on his pitch.
He does.
for this.
It's not good.
He's had a lot of practice. You'd think he'd
Yeah.
be better at
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It's like you've done this for, it seems like an eternity.
Yeah.
You should be better at this.
And he's been waiting around this life for at least 50 years, right?
Right.
And I
for
love,
this-
she's like, are you one of those skanky old men that attacks little girls? Well, forget you. She has so many great lines. I love it so much. I love Buffy.
And so I think, because that, he knows details about her dreams.
Yes.
She goes with him to the graveyard and has to fend off a couple of vampires. So I guess that's like, what are the, what's her superpowers?
Cramps.
Well, yes.
That's not in the TV show, right?
don't
Is that
think so.
deleted from the show?
Yeah, how does she know in the TV show?
She has like PMS is like a spidey sense to
Yeah.
alert
Yeah.
her that, there's vampires around.
I honestly don't remember if that was part
I
of the
don't
I
show.
don't
either.
remember that.
I don't
like, being a
remember.
part of it.
It
Yeah.
could have been, but I don't remember.
But she also seems to have like natural
Yeah, she
abilities.
No,
Yeah.
she says that she did gymnastics growing up, so she knows how to do tumbling and stuff. But it's just like a natural, like
Progression to
Yeah.
kicks and jumping kicks and roundhouses.
I cannot
and
tell
flipping
you how many times I did this.
and trying to be Buffy.
Trying to be Buffy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh
I understand.
God,
Yeah,
yes.
Wait, you were
Constantly.
watching the training montage in the movie? And you're
Oh
like,
my God, yes.
The
Trying to
training
do
montage
spin
is
kicks
incredible.
and jump kicks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I want Holly flying kicks into punching bags.
Dude, the height on her flying kicks is kind of insane when you watch this.
It is.
It's, yeah,
Pretty
she's up
nuts,
high,
yeah.
which makes
Yeah.
me think she was like hitting a trampoline, going
Right,
up with a kick and
right.
everything. I just for comedy's sake, I see Holly doing it and then just and then just coming up short and landing.
Oh, I can't jump, so
Yeah,
that's
well, yeah.
very accurate.
I would also be in that same situation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did like spin kick my brother once. Yeah, it didn't end well
No, for him or
for him.
okay, good. What did it come in low?
Came in low.
Oh, okay. No, wait, watch. I can do it. Ah.
So Buffy was like, so how old were you at this point? in time?
Well, it came out in what, 92?
6, 7 when it came out.
Oh God. Yeah, I was 7.
So Buffy was like a hero then.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I wanted to be her so bad. I thought she was the coolest.
So how far did you get in your training?
Well, I was self-taught.
She killed 5. She's killed 5 people.
Yeah, I kill vampires regularly,
Mm-hmm,
so it's worked
Her
out
and
really
Igor
well.
actually go on the rest of the weekends when we're not doing this.
Yeah,
Igor's the watcher.
Slaughter
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
Igor's the
he is a watcher. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, he's lived 1,000 lifetimes.
Igor's a watcher, all right, but might be a little
Not the
more
way you
creepy
think,
than we
yeah.
thought. Yeah.
So Buffy is able to take down these vampires in the graveyard. It's like, oh my God, vampires are real.
They are real, and they're slowly taking people from the town. Benny, David Arquette being one of them.
Yeah, Pike loses his best friend. I guess.
Paul Rubens, who just kind of, I love Paul Rubens, just floats up. It's like grabs a dude, floats away. It's real fun.
He always announces himself by kind of laughing in the distance
Yeah,
Yep.
or going,
Yeah,
as they do.
it's intimidating.
that's great.
It's fun.
And so Pike.
Yeah, we see. We first see Benny as a vampire coming to Pike's window, and I love this scene. This is
It's
such
great.
a classic
It's
scene.
great because it's playing off of
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot
at
this point.
It's such a great scene.
but it's so good. It's the one where it's like, yeah, you're floating.
Yeah, literally
hungry. You're floating.
before I came over here, my family asked me what we were watching, and I told them, and my brother instantly was like, "I love that scene with David Arquette at the window." I'm like, "I know, it's so good."
It's great. It's one of the ones
like,
that
let me
sticks
in,
with
man.
you.
He's like, "You're floating, man." So good.
It's so good.
I guess Pike doesn't seem
I'm
to.
hungry.
Well, so Pike is like set up. He's the only, I guess the only character other than Buffy and Merrick who kind of like knows
something-
that there's something happening.
He's like
and-
something's weird's happening. He's
Yeah.
about to leave town. He's quitting his mechanic job. He's loading his shit up in his van, and he's gonna in the mystery machine because it's fucking blue and green.
It is
Yeah.
the mystery machine,
Right, but he's loading it up and he's gone. Like he's trying to get out of there because he knows some shit's going down.
And there is the implication that, like, even though he likes Buffy, she's from, like the vapid group on the other side
Right.
of the tracks, and like, but
What
so
does
we
Donald
know.
Sutherland call her? Vacuous? I think
Yeah,
at a certain point he calls her
vacuous
Yeah.
choice so far. So Sutherland goes about training Buffy. That's when he throws the knife at her forehead and she catches it. That was a trailer moment. And then they are going to go off now the mission to fight Lothos, the vampire. So who is this guy and what is their relationship?
It's Rutger Hauer, and he's been around for a long time.
Yeah. Is there anything to this, I guess, other than like he's king shit vampire?
I think that's it.
That's it.
I think
That's
that's
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but somebody lay out for me, what is the dynamic between him and the Slayer? Like, what are they going for?
I feel
here?
like Lothos has killed a lot of Slayers.
Yeah.
Is that his end goal to kill her?
Yes.
Is it?
I don't know.
I think ultimately,
I was getting like a Mina vibe between, I was like, is this like a weird sexual thing that
I think so. I
I
got
totally read
there's
it as a
something-
sexual thing.
Yeah,
I mean, 'cause
I
it's
got
like,
read it,
you know,
yeah.
you think like, is this a coming of age movie? She's not ready yet. There's a lot of,
Oh yeah, there's we said
well, no,
we said there's no subtext in this movie. There is
There's
subtext.
subtext.
There is
no, I
subtext.
think he does want to conquer her, but I also
Yeah.
think that the ultimate goal is that once he does, she gone.
is that
Well,
so? Is that it?
I got the impression that like he's always been waiting for one that he thought was like a worthy adversary.
All right.
But I think his end goal is like he wants her to like join him.
Yeah, to be his
Okay.
queen
Yeah.
or
Like
something.
like okay, he finally found a worthy one to like be with.
Right.
him.
Yeah, because
Yeah, especially if he could turn like a really
Yeah.
good Slayer to his
But
side.
none of them ever come close, so he killed him.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
and
Go with
then
that.
she would take the place of Pee Wee Herman.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like he literally sacrifices Pee Wee
Yeah.
Herman to
Yeah.
have
Yes.
her.
He's
And then she
Who was
rejects
his
him.
who was
companion.
right? Yeah, who was written as a woman until I think somebody was
Oh,
cast
really?
for it. Yeah, somebody was cast for it. But
I
then,
like the change.
Yeah, I mean the change works. And
It's a
so,
good change.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing because he still do the same thing, like constantly kissing his hand. Is like
Yeah.
I do everything for you.
Yeah, he's like the Renfield, and it's not a Renfield.
No, it's just his companion.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
His number
vampire
two.
companion. Yeah, he gets all he gets all the perks from hanging
Yeah.
around with like head shit
It's-
vampire
it's
and all
his
that
guy
stuff.
in the chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a bad position to have until head vampire finds a worthy person, and
Yeah.
then you're fucking toast.
It's like, I have a gift for you. You can kill my companion.
Right? It's just like wait, and then you're just like, wait, what? Me? I've been with you 200 years.
Yeah. It's a funny scene.
It's like we were just waiting.
Is it the funniest scene in the movie?
It's the one that sticks with you.
It is. 'Cause there's
It's
some
pretty
fun,
great.
There's some funny scenes in there, but it is it's great
It's fun. It's
because he
the-
gets stabbed with a fucking sharpened ruler.
Right.
It's the kicking the wall.
The kicking the wall is the thing.
It seals
It's
the
like,
deal.
I mean, what we're looking at, so that's just like an ad-libbed moment, right?
Oh yeah, that is the director going, go for it, just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Have you ever like read or heard anything about like I haven't about about that scene? Because it's like does Christy Swanson know that she stabs him, he falls, and then he gets back up and he's like,
No, I heard before that it was totally. That's why, like, as soon as he like drops down, she looks at the other guy because she doesn't know he's about to pop back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had no idea. Yeah,
That man can pop up like no one else.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I know,
It's an
right?
art form. In
and then
this
they
movie.
keep going, even like there's a shot after the
credits.
still
Yeah.
going. Because I guess I didn't read it. I couldn't tell. Like, did she kill him? Like
Yeah,
even
he's
when
dead.
I first saw the movie the first time.
because vampires in this movie just die like a human being. There is no turn to dust. There's no flame. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's different in the show.
Yeah, the
yes,
show
they
they
turn to dust.
explode. And,
Yeah.
Which they should. I think it's
Yeah.
all vampires should die. But in this one, they just die
or
as
like
humans.
the I've seen it in several, but like the True Blood method where they just like explode into a pile of goo.
As they should.
Yeah.
Something
Fantastic.
should happen to them. But
Yeah.
no, he that is him dying slowly but surely.
Yeah. So it's just it goes on forever, and now it like lives in clips, immortalized from.
Forever.
But I do like that there's just random vampire corpse all over the city now. Like
Right, they don't go anywhere, so they have
Right?
to like clean them up or give them detention.
And there's like the lady on the news. Like there's a lot of theories. It's like, well, I think it's pretty obvious. You've got vampire corpses
right,
everywhere.
because you can cut to like just like a medical examiner looking in someone's mouth, going, "Yep, this one's got fangs too."
Wait,
Seeing a pattern, boss.
Do those disappear like when you die? We don't know. They would she's staking a bunch of people,
Right, we
and
don't
just leaving the corpses.
I like
They're
to
like-
think that there are
yeah.
just vampire corpses all over town.
Yeah, they're like checking like the DNA and all. They're like, well, it appears he was born in 1600. I'm not sure how this
It's
is
like,
possible.
boss, it's getting kind of hard to ignore. They all got fangs. Yeah, I want to see the cop cleanup kind
Right.
of just a little bit after this.
We do get the classic like detention slip though, which
We do.
is
It's just
iconic.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, Stephen Root is great. Like when you were saying that line, like because you guys remembered it from the
Yeah.
end of the movie, and I'm like, oh shit, I remember him saying that. What movie was that? Like, oh, it's from this.
This is
Detention.
just throwing detention
Just
slips
so
at corpses.
good.
It's
Just so good.
fantastic.
When he goes into his little thing about taking acid back in the day.
Oh, God,
yeah.
I love it.
That's
I don't want
great.
you to think of me as your teacher or principal.
What
Like,
does he say? He calls him cool something?
Yeah.
Like, it's Mr. Cool.
think of
or-
me as Mr. So-and-so party guy,
Party, yeah.
Party guy.
happening dude.
Stephen Root is so good at this type of character too.
good.
It's so,
So
funny.
good.
I love Stephen Root.
And he's just
God
like, I
damn
was
it.
at a Doobie Brothers concert.
Yes. Okay, but the way he's describing the acid trip, I was like, yeah, that is how it is.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
he said, the music turned blue and flew out
Yeah.
of their instruments. It said it felt like it was feeding his soul.
And the way
And
he
I'm like, yes,
describes it,
this
his
is an
hand
Yeah,
is
acid.
very
it was
good.
flowing
Yeah.
into me. Well, it's like the
Yeah.
cliched, like that's
I could see
But
it,
the detail of it being a Doobie Brothers
Yeah,
concert makes
yeah.
it really funny because that is
Really
not
funny.
acid trip music.
No.
wasn't it Doobie Brothers?
That was like weed smoking music,
Oh, was
not
it? Yeah.
acid trip music.
But I feel like back then,
Foghat
Yeah,
was acid
everything.
trip.
Yeah.
back then, it all,
ELO is acid trip
ELO is
music,
acid
yeah.
trip music, yes.
I saw ELO.
I did too.
They were great.
Yeah, they were.
I feel like back then it was just all acid music.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Fucking
I'm sure there was a
Jefferson
fucking
Starship
light
is
show that was
yeah.
just great.
Right.
back in
I don't know,
then.
man. Michael McDonald is a little easy listening for acid.
That's true. That's true.
But,
You're right. It's weed.
I'd be willing to
It's
tell.
weed.
Yeah, it's weed music.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
doobie.
Have you seen the
literally
video of
doobie.
that little girl that's like obsessed with Michael
Yeah.
McDonald?
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
then she finds
We've
out
talked
that,
about this before.
She
Yeah.
finds out that he's like old,
And she's
She's
like,
so disappointed.
but she's like in tears talking about how much she loves it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I
Loves
did
it
see
so
that.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
Speaking of Steve, have you guys all watched News Radio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Have you watched News Radio?
I think so.
Oh,
Years
you would.
ago, but
If you
yeah.
haven't watched, you'd love News
I feel like I
Radio.
did, but I
Yeah.
don't remember.
News Radio is the best. It's the best. There's like 4 seasons of it. It's the best.
Okay.
But, yeah.
What's it on?
DVD. That's all I know. Like you can find it somewhere. DVD. Maybe Netflix. I don't know.
Oh, never made the jump. So.
It might be. I'm sure it's somewhere.
It's
Like-
on
gotta
tapes
be.
in
It's
the
gotta
It's,
be.
okay, it's on Pluto TV, Roku channel, Amazon Prime. It's out there.
You can find it.
It's out
I
there.
have Roku.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fucking fantastic. Watch it.
Thank God for Pluto TV.
Yeah, Phil Hartman was on that. That's
Pluto
why
TV
I always
Phil
remember.
Hartman.
Pluto TV gives me my
Dave
90210.
Dave Foley, Maura Tierney,
That's why I'm like, I know like
Yeah.
of it. I don't know if I ever actually
Andy
watched
Dick,
it.
who's
Yeah.
which you can take him. Like
Yeah.
he's very funny. Joe Rogan.
Because I loved Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
Like
He's
I fucking loved Phil
he's
Hartman.
fucking great in News Radio. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. Watch News Radio. Everybody listening, if
Yeah.
you're Brailer, watch News Radio. It's fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna revisit.
Continue on.
Where were we?
I don't know.
I don't know, we're jumping around.
Yeah.
There was,
that's
what? So the plot. It's like this
Right.
plot is like
It's
so.
thin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It does it does the trick.
Well, we got
it
to
doesn't
get.
need anything
No,
else.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the fun. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be too.
so she's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, what's
so
the cheer? What's the cheer, Holly, that
Oh
has
my
been stuck in your
God.
head for 30 years? Because Holly said this before the show, and we're just like, all right, we're waiting for it. Which
Yeah.
one? It's like, chickens and whatnot. Wait.
What were you doing?
I'll do it with you. If you
Were you doing that cheer like as a, you got it memorized?
Oh yeah, I was
Oh.
saying it
how,
along
wait,
with the movie.
how
How funky is your chicken? How funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose? Our
How
goose
loose?
is our goose is totally loose.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
So come on, all you hog fans. And shake your caboose.
Yep.
And shake your caboose.
So good.
Bravo.
So
I don't remember shit, but that has been stuck in my
Right.
head for 30 years.
I like the basketball one they were doing before. I kind of
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to see the full version of that, but
Take
whatever.
that ball to the hoop.
Yeah, that one was good too. I wanted to see that one.
I told you I've seen this movie a lot.
Do they still make cheerleading themed movies? In the 2000s, that was
Bring It
everywhere.
On
Right.
and,
Yeah.
Right,
Can
but
we
that
do
was,
any?
that was like 20
can
years
we
ago.
do? Can we do any better than Bring It On? Because that
Well,
is
but
that is
that's
my
never
bar.
stopped anyone from trying.
That's
True.
very true, and they made like 6 other Bring It On.
Yeah,
movies.
Bring It On
But
was
Bring It On is like
That's peak.
like you have to be better than
peak.
that, otherwise I don't care because it's
Well, yeah,
the
but I
best.
mean,
Yeah.
I assume everything now, they're probably making these things or
Yeah.
just on some channel.
some
Right.
channel
They're just not
somewhere.
major
We
movies
yeah, like
anymore.
we don't
yeah.
know about it because we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, but I feel like if there was a big cheerleading comedy movie in theaters, I would at least have heard of it.
No, right.
You know,
No,
like,
the
I
last
just don't
one was
think they're
like
being made on that scale anymore.
no, the last one was like Eric Christian Olsen as the male
Christian
cheerleader in that
Olsen.
one movie.
Oh my god!
Oh, I forgot what it was called.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was way back in the day. I'm talking about like 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It was the last big cheerleading movie.
Mhm.
I'll find it.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, let me know.
So she's a cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Well, we got to. Okay, so plot wise, you
in a
have
simple
to
time when it was just simple cheers. It wasn't like huge, like synchronized, choreographed dance. Like
Right.
they're insane.
They weren't going to
now.
finals and state and all that stuff. You just like had to entertain people in
They're,
basketball.
yeah,
game.
they're literally just like the 2-minute halftime show.
Well, we got to get so Buffy has to self-actualize, right? She has to become her own person, and then we also have to introduce her to Pike, and we got to get
Pike,
there
yep.
to circles entwined. So
Right, because they've met like at the theater. Her and her friends were talking
hate
loud,
him.
and
Right. Yeah. They
He's
start
like,
out.
"We
at
hate
opposite
you
ends and they hate
guys."
each other. Yeah.
but eventually she saves Pike's life.
yep,
Right.
because she's become like now she is she trains up. Very physical role. It
She's
looked like it
Batman.
was her.
She goes out at night to stop
Yeah.
the vampires.
Yeah,
and-
this is costing her schoolwork and her friend circle, and then
Yes.
I don't think she has that speech eventually about like how everything seemed really important,
Yeah.
but now it's just a stupid dance. You're getting ready for a stupid dance.
Yeah.
It's so important to you, but there's more shit going on in the world.
Welcome to the feeling you get the second you graduate high school.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, none of this stuff mattered.
Yeah, it's
think
so
more
true.
going on.
That is like why this movie I think resonates, right?
Yes.
Because it had a lot of those moments. I mean, even like Pike, she's like, I'm talking to this strange man in my room, and he's like, "You're calling me a man." I mean, they're all at that
it's so
period of
wholesome.
time.
It's so wholesome.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It
really is.
Because think about like that is something that someone would have said when they're like 18. Like you called me a man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're all. It's like they're growing up. It's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
change over from whatever
Yeah.
teenager to adulthood.
and it's so true because I've had those moments where I think back and like even in my like 20s I used to love like celebrity gossip and all the magazines and shit, and nowadays I'll look at headlines and I'm like, why the fuck does this matter? Like there are actual issues happening in the world. Are you fucking kidding me? And I lose my goddamn mind. But there was
Yeah.
a time when I ate that shit up.
Yeah.
You really
You know?
stop giving a fuck about a lot of things the
Yeah.
older you get.
do.
Yeah.
Because you become aware of just the oppression of
Right.
fucking real life, and you're just like, oh shit, I should.
well, the world
probably
just
pay
gets
attention to that.
bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
that's I guess the thing. Your world, even though it feels like it's large when you're in high school,
It's-
is
oh, yeah.
still.
Yeah, it's all about perspective and
bubble.
what you have to deal with, and it's not a lot. I mean, it is a lot. It feels like a lot, but you just don't experience the
Right.
biggerness of the outside world at that point. And so, high school is a big deal.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit of a chicken or the egg thing because I feel like movies like this, high school kind of coming of age movies, create a lot of expectation for what your high school experience is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, so where does it start? Was high school always a big deal, and the movies just kind of translated that story,
Or did the movies
high-
just blow it out of
or did the
proportion?
movies make us think high school is the most important thing ever and
The answer
everything?
is
you know?
yes, Michaela.
Yeah, because
true.
like
Yes.
this movie, they talk about the dance, and we all talk about watching the movie like those dances were made in movies. The dance is the biggest thing you can do in high school, and then you go to one in real life, and you're like, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I spent
sucks.
more time at school.
Yeah.
But it symbolizes that's like the dance is usually always at the end of the movie and at the end of high school. It's like
Yeah.
that
Well, the
is kind of
promise.
Yeah.
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 the
That's like,
moving on
they even
from-
discuss it in this movie. It's
There's like
this
5
is
dances.
the biggest dance of the year. It's like, aside from that one, it's like, and then we got prom coming up. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
It's their last dance, and they have actually like 4 more.
and
How
you're-
fun would
you're
it be
saying-
to play a ditz in one of these movies?
Oh, I'd love
It's
it. I would love
it'd
it
be
so
good.
much.
It's like, oh yeah.
But you're saying the movie has basically these wholesome relationships, right? So it's
It really
like
does.
Yeah.
it's because even her boyfriend spends the night, and that's like a big deal early on.
Yeah.
But apparently they don't sleep together. Pike stays at her house, but apparently they don't sleep together. They have
sleeps
like
on the
a nice kiss at the dance. Finally, when they get to the climactic scene,
I
so
like it.
It is
too.
like, but I guess that's how I'm reading it then, right? It's like it is that bridge from teen to adulthood, and in that you have Lothos, who is like, she's going to be at least ready for me. Like she's going to be as like sexually ready for the advance of Lothos. So it is like he wants to have sex with her, to marry her, to make her his queen. That is where like his perspective is coming into it. So it's the threat of, adult sexual relationships. So because
there's even a scene later on when after the credits, when they show the girl that Buffy's boyfriend actually goes to the dance with, they ended up having sex in the car outside. And in the middle of the news interview, she's like, I can't believe I let you do that to me. And like runs off crying. It's like, oh my God.
He breaks up with Buffy to her machine, her answering machine.
You broke up with my machine? Yeah.
I left you a message. You're like, never
Kids
home.
nowadays wouldn't have no idea what that line means.
No.
None.
God, imagine coming like, that's the thing with the machine though, is Buffy might not be the first one to hear it. Like, what if it's your dad or your mom and they hear, oh, fuck. It's so embarrassing. Like,
I forgot about that.
Yes, you might not be the first one to get to
where you
it.
had to get home.
Yes,
that's a family machine.
Somebody
Yes.
else, oh, shit.
Oh,
I forgot about that. Where it's just not for you.
No,
It's for
secondary
everybody.
humiliation. Yeah.
Because only like the rich kids have their own line.
Yeah,
Right. Buffy's got her own line and her own machine.
Probably.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
own line.
Yeah.
Picking up the phone and then hearing somebody else pick up that fucking phone. It's like, get off.
Yeah.
That was life as a teenager.
The
hit the
hardships,
mute button and keep listening?
hardships that we endured. All right. So she saves Pike's life. Pike is then he is like the prototype, I suppose, of the Buffy gang that would form in the show, right?
Yeah.
First, like, okay, he's on her side. He knows what's going on. So a key moment is Merrick is killed by Lothos.
Yes.
And that puts Buffy into
at the parade float
At the parade
graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not since Hard Target have we gotten into the parade float / amusement park graveyard. Less sparks.
And
than
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
with
yeah.
on the show, you mean? Or yeah, yeah.
We talked about Thanksgiving on the end of the year episode. I
Yeah,
think.
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Thanksgiving has the whole float chase
I'm
scene.
gonna have to watch that again.
So this causes his death, right? Because she actually does kind of genuinely get to like
And
the guy.
they do, and the scenes between them getting to know each other and being, it's very sweet, and they're very likable when they, finally warm up to each other and realize,
because
he's this way, she's this way.
Because her whole thing in the movie has been like her parents are not there.
Yes.
So she finally has like a parent figure.
Yes, and he finally cracks a joke, and she makes mention of that, and they are very sweet to each other, and they're very good at that, and it's nice, and I like it. And it's very simple sweetness.
Yeah.
Like, there's no complications to any of this. This is a very simple movie. And it's nice to just watch a simple movie and just be like, I like that. You don't got to get complicated with shit. It's nice. I liked it. I think that's why I picked it tonight. I just wanted something that was just like easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. And I wanted Buffy.
And there's 90s fashion and design.
So much 90s fashion.
So you've
It's a
got
time capsule movie.
So much.
the neon.
There's neon, there's a little bit of splatter.
The
There's
denim
that,
vest.
Yep, there's that yellow
it
leather
also
jacket.
made me realize how much of my clothing is very 90s. 'Cause I definitely have
Even still?
Well, yeah, because I have a vest like that. I wear things with daisies on them. I wear boots with socks. Like a lot of the stuff I would wear.
I did look at. I was looking at a lot of socks and being like, "What? How are they wearing them?" From the athletes wearing their shoes with the socks to her when she's doing the fighting and everything. She's like, "How's everybody wearing their socks?"
I do that. The combat boots with the socks like that. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
With a dress and a denim vest.
Yeah,
Do it all
that's
the
a
time.
look.
Yeah, I guess
love
that
that
was.
look.
Throw a leather jacket on that shit.
I love that look.
It does. Yeah, just watching it
works
again,
no
you're
matter
like, wow, it does. It like things have dramatically changed over the years. So her Merrick's death basically gives her a crisis of not conscience, but like she's like, okay, so what do I actually want to do? Like this is kind of his thing, killing vampires. It's like I don't want to kill vampires. I think Pike says that. Like I thought you wanted to kill vampires. She's like, no, I don't want to kill them. I want to go to the dance. I want it. So she's kind of like, no, I do want to hold on to this world that I like,
but she's got a duty at this
Yeah.
point, and she knows she has a responsibility.
Yeah.
Because
not in these moments. So she's ready to give all that up.
All right, that's very true.
Like it's just like she doesn't think she's ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of responsibility for a kid.
Yeah. Until they attack the prom.
Yeah. But she does go to the prom. She blows off Pike, and she's like, "No, I am gonna, try to get back in with my friends again."
Does she blow him off?
Yeah,
because he ends up there.
I mean, kind of. She's just like, "Look, I'm gonna go to the dance because it's important to me," and then walks away.
But they have an argument, like you know, because he's like, "What? I thought you were something more to you than this," and that kind of thing.
Right.
It's like you're choosing them, those people.
But he ends up going.
Yeah, but that's like a sweet move from him, I think, right? Like, because he's like all pissed off and angry. It's like there's something more going on. But then I think, does he realize that, it's like, well, she needs this. She needs to be
right.
I think
a teenage girl.
Ultimately, he cares about her.
Yes.
So he goes for her.
And what she needs.
Yeah.
And she needs this.
So he cleans himself up and wears his best leather biker jacket.
They are both
and a really nice vest.
Right. And they are both sporting the same hairstyle at the end of this. She just happens to have a bun, but it is all just
slick back.
It's nice and practical, right? Because when you're kicking things, you don't want your hair whipping you in your face.
Yeah. Notice she wasn't wearing heels. She was wearing white combat boots.
Was it white combat boots?
Yeah.
She came prepared because she knew something might go down.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Be prepared just in case.
So there's a whole thing that I was kind of confused about unmasking the vampire slayer. She kills that one guy on the basketball.
She can hunt them.
Court.
That is the thing. She can hunt them and she'll be fine as long as they don't figure out who she is.
Yep, and one of the basketball players becomes a vampire.
Sasha.
So he from Halloween 4.
Yes,
and
he's also from Dazed and Confused.
Is he in Disney?
Is he? Oh, yeah.
Shit, I think I've seen that movie like once.
I watched that.
I need to watch.
Too.
I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch it. All right, I gotta watch it.
So she has to kill him.
It's my new Tombstone, ladies and gentlemen. I have watched Tombstone. I just want to. Thank you. This is what. Thank you. This is what I wanted.
You did it.
Yes, dear, because we made mention of it enough on here that I haven't. I've watched Tombstone.
And
so proud of you.
It's fantastic. Like, all right.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. All right, I just want to put out there. I've seen most of it beforehand. I just finished it. And it's great.
But it took you like 2 years to do a complete viewing. Yeah,
you would watch it in like 15-minute intervals.
No, I sat down and I fucking watched it, and it was great.
I'm so proud of you.
All right, well, now Dazed and Confused.
Now Dazed and Confused.
You're a daisy if you do.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, Dazed and Confused is your next one.
Mm-hmm.
So but I guess what I was saying is I didn't understand. It's like there's something. Once she's identified, right?
Yeah.
Once the Slayer's identified, the vampires are going to hunt her.
Yes.
Right. So she kills the basketball guy because he knows who I am. And then she meets Lothos and Pee Wee Herman.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, we're not going to kill her tonight. We're gonna take off.
She's not ready.
And then David Arquette hears Pike and Buffy talking, and he's like, because he remembers her from the movie theater, Buffy is the Slayer, and reports that back.
Yep.
And so then they're like, Buffy, now we know, and we can. And I'm like, what? Didn't they already?
You would have thought.
Yeah, they know who she is. But okay, so now,
but now they know where she's gonna be.
And so Rutger Hauer wants to go to the dance.
He wants
and so we've set up the big confrontation between King Vampire and Buffy.
Yeah.
The vampires attack the dance, breaking through the windows. All the kids are freaked out. There's people running around.
It's like, don't worry, they can't come in unless they're invited.
I invited them.
Why? They're seniors.
Yeah, I love that the trappings of high school never leave at that point. It's like, I invited them. They're seniors.
And they're all like street tough vampires, like leather jackets, chains, all the great stuff.
I wonder if they were that way before, or if they just turn that way when they become.
Well,
vampires.
no, I like this. I like this because the one friend, there's the thing with the leather jacket, the yellow leather jacket, like the whole movie.
Yeah,
where she's like,
she does come back in that.
Yeah, she wants to buy it, and then she's like, "That's so 5 minutes ago," and then Hillary Swank goes back and buys it instead.
Yep.
And then she loans it to the other friend. Yeah, Buffy loans it to the friend that gets killed. Well, then the friend that gets killed is wearing it when she shows up as a vampire to the dance.
Yep. So they're all
and I love it.
leather jackets for.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good luck.
That has to be inspired by Vampire the Masquerade. I mean, why else were they all in leather jackets? Okay, but your vampires in leather jackets are very goth looking.
Sure.
Yep.
You gotta go dark for vampires.
And mayhem ensues. Buffy is, I think, like, and that's the thing where the high school students realize that she's the one who actually goes out and fights them all, right? And then when she comes back in, I think it didn't really play it up, but there is that recognition that, like, she saved them.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have, like, been kind of more of a big moment, but...
Yeah, that's a huge moment on the TV show.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
when it's like in graduation or something like that, and like, all of a sudden they bust out, like, this thing about, like, you know, like, who's the... You know, the student that, you know, we appreciate the most, and it's like Buffy Summers, and they realize that, like, she has been, you know, they've seen her all over the place. Like, whenever there's something happening, she's there. And
like,
so,
Buffy
like,
Summers saved the school once a week.
yeah.
Do they realize
And,
that?
and they realize it, you know, in this public thing, and it was like, yeah, it was great.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm going to fucking watch this show.
It is. It's a great show.
It's a great show.
No, I've obviously heard it's a great show.
There's just so many great cameos of people that weren't famous
oh,
yet.
I'm sure I watched it now.
Like the Pedro Pascal is fantastic.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner's in.
Jeremy Renner was in it.
Yeah,
like, there's so many great cameos before they were famous.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Yeah, it should have been. It felt like it should have been a bigger moment. But again,
I guess that's what I was. You know, having experienced the TV show, I'm like, this is the moment where you do it. Like, they know that she saved the day.
but they're all. I mean, but they're all superficial high school kids. Would they notice? You know, just like they brush it off. It kind of fits.
like-
It fits with the rest of the movie that maybe they didn't quite give her the credit or notice.
So there's a big showdown between her and Rutger Hauer.
Indeed, she does kick some ass. She does some cartwheels, some backflips, a lot of it. And
Yeah,
then-
but I mean, the general gist of it is like, you know, basically he's extending her, like, you know, come with me into this, like, world of adult relationships. And she's like, you know what? No, I'm not interested. So
that
he's like,
invitation sounds horrible.
you bitch, you know, blah, blah, blah. He turns on her. He's going to kill her. They fight. It's like,
Paul Rumens gets it in the chest. We get his whole thing.
That's the infamous,
Yeah. Well, no, at the dance,
And then
like,
dance, he pulls out a samurai sword.
Yeah.
So he's in coat and tails and a samurai sword.
Why always samurai swords? I mean, I like it, but it's just like one specific culture figured out swords, and then we're just keep going back to that. Like,
Well, I mean, it would it be if he had like a machine gun?
offensive. Well, no,
You know, I
no,
mean,
the sword. Yeah, no.
He's just saying
It's an
like that
elegant
specific
weapon.
type of sword.
Yeah.
oh,
we
always
seem
the
to
samurai
go-
sword. It's
Yeah,
not a
we always-
broadsword. You're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I think
Right?
it's-
Yeah, like in front of swords, it's like always a samurai
I
sword.
think it's because they were so well made, they were lighter than a broadsword.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Like it is the best option if you're
Yeah.
going to fight with a sword.
Yeah, and it's better than a rapier.
Of course.
It is better than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're not.
It's
you
the
know,
most
that's-
elegant like sword weapon.
Yeah, but maybe we need to bring back our blunt weapons. Like maces and flanges are underrated. I mean,
agree.
Maces are look badass as fuck.
Yeah.
Why do we
And
not have more people
it's
swinging
right.
around maces?
And
Yeah.
it's far more like intimidating, terrifying. If you're
Yes.
swinging a fucking mace.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'd be more afraid than
Yeah.
a samurai sword
Yeah.
because it'd be like, all right.
Seriously.
It's really
Yeah,
hard
plus
to
you,
bring 'em back.
you can wing it at people. And
Mhm.
yeah.
I do like the scene when she's dancing with Luke Perry and he says, "You're not like other girls," and she said, "Yes, I am."
Yeah, I was
love
about
that.
to. I was like, "Oh, I hate where this
No,
is going," and then it turned in the right way, and I was like,
I love that. Even as a little girl, I loved that
Yeah.
line.
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah, everything kind of turns the way you want it to in this movie.
Yeah. This
Nice.
movie at the end also engages in another trope that I thought was going to happen in high school. Every movie told me some bad boy from the wrong side of the tracks was going to pick me up on his motorcycle.
Yeah,
And when you think about it, you're like, how many high schoolers did you know that had motorcycles?
none.
Because you have to have money to have a motorcycle.
You
Like,
do.
Yeah,
it's
I
crazy
didn't
how much
know
of like,
anyone with
yeah.
motorcycles.
No, we all
No.
knew a lot of kids in leather jackets. None of them owned a
No,
motorcycle.
no.
Not at that. Yeah, not at
Never.
that age. I know a bunch who got him after. But
Right, but in
My
high
prom-
school,
Not-
no.
My prom date did not ride a motorcycle.
Yeah,
he rode
exactly.
a skateboard.
Just saying. Yeah.
Want to see my
Yeah.
prom
very,
picture?
very different. Yes.
I think I've seen this, but yes.
All right, I'll find it.
Find it, please.
Well, Buffy saves the day. She kills head vampire,
She does. It
and
is, yeah.
and she kills all the other ones. So I guess that means like the town
What is
safe.
Rutger Hauer's last line? Oops. Is that his
I
last?
think, yeah.
He gets stabbed in the chest and then kicked in the chest, which seems to be Buffy's signature move.
Mhm.
Stab him and then
and then kick
it
the
further in?
kick
Yeah.
yeah.
and he's like, oops.
Mm.
And then it just goes down.
I know because it's been how many
Again.
thousands
And so-
of years,
right?
and
And
he's
so you have
taken
to,
out.
right? But this is the thing with not having vampires like turn into ash, blow up, or everything. You just like, is he dead? He's dead, right? And you just gotta go with it.
Yeah,
And he's
Mhm.
dead, but
Yeah.
you're just like, okay.
sequel potential, right? Where he comes back before they thought of a TV show. You know, it's like you
I was
could
going to
bring
say I'm
back.
surprised this didn't get a sequel, but maybe
Well,
it wasn't.
it was a TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but like immediately after. 'Cause
Oh,
it was
man,
like
they've-
5 years between the movie and the show.
Yeah. And they've talked so much about like remaking this, like a new version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Then there
Might
was like
be
going to
coming
be
now.
there was a remake of there was a remake of
look
the
at that
movie. There
I
was
thought he was cute.
Oh,
the
this is
cutest. This is my prom picture.
the prom picture.
Yeah. I
All right.
thought he was the cutest with his floppy skater boy
There's-
hair.
That is
Young
floppy
Holly
hair.
and
That is the equivalent of broccoli heads.
a
And
gentleman.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Every
Jeremy.
generation has theirs. That's
They
And
do.
it talks about, oh my God, the hair on Jeremy.
I
it's
loved
like
his
a helmet.
floppy skater boy hair.
that was the style at the time, you know. Go
You
okay.
looked very happy in this picture.
Aw.
Even though
thank
you
you.
guys are not touching each other.
Go back. Go back.
Leave room for Jesus.
Go back and look
Yeah.
at the haircuts in the fourth Harry Potter movie. Everyone's
Oh
hair
my
is
God.
fucking insane
Oh, yeah,
in
it's
that
fucking
movie.
huge.
Shaggy and long down to their shoulders, all of them. That
Yep.
was the style of 2004 or whatever that was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's going to come back.
Oh yeah, it will. It will.
Oh yeah, the sequel. We're all doing it. Yeah. We won't because we have no hair. But other than that,
Was there an announcement recently from Sarah Michelle Gellar that like
There
Buffy is
was.
actually coming?
They're
Like, there's
working
been all
on
these
It's
like
official. They're doing a reboot. It's
they're
official.
working on it.
it's a reboot. If she's in it, she going to be Buffy with
Yeah, she's
training
back.
a new.
That's the only
set
way.
of
That's
Slayers.
the only way you can do it.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna guess she's got kids.
Because she said that they've been talking about it for years, and she was waiting for it to like actually be good.
Yes.
And she says this she's happy to do.
You're right. She didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she released her message like, I wasn't gonna do this. We've heard about this for years, and I wouldn't do it unless I found something good. And what we've been talking about is good, and
Yeah.
so it
that's what
is
they
being
all
developed.
say. That's
Is
why
that-
they all
is
do
that
the
true, or
midlife
did the
crisis?
dollar
You know,
amount?
bring them back.
Right?
You're all
Yeah.
I was holding out for right dollar amount because I mean, to bring her back, she had to have gotten seriously paid for this, right? Like,
I'm sure
better have.
I'm sure she would. I don't know necessarily that is. I wouldn't.
what's
put
the
her
motive for her to come back? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Has she even been
act,
in
to be-
anything
like, if
like
she
recently?
she was in Dexter
She's in
Original
Dexter.
Sin.
She's
Right,
Dexter.
damn
Yeah.
it. That's right. I
Let's
just
do
watched
something.
that.
Like she obviously, I think, loved this era of her career
Right.
and everything.
But that doesn't mean you would necessarily want to reboot it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
But maybe
I mean, they
there's always
just
that
they
for-
just seemed financially well off and have comfortable where they were at. That I'm surprised that she agreed to this.
so that maybe that
Yeah.
points towards it being good.
Fingers
I
crossed.
know, I'm not doubting that it's
We'll
going to be.
see.
I'm just saying,
As a person
from
who's
her,
gone through
it's-
many iterations of Dexter,
Yes.
how do you
Yeah.
feel about this? So many iterations of Dexter.
I mean, I'm down for it. I'm just saying she's never seemed interested until now. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what changed? And I think it's money more than anything.
Yeah,
That's what
Maybe-
very
I
well
mean,
could be.
but-
Buffy went on to be like a, I mean, she was a role model, I suppose, right? Like for so many teens.
Yep.
And I mean, the show was very well written and addressed a lot of like serious subjects. And,
Yeah.
so I mean, where it went from here was, I suppose.
Where did it leave off?
The show?
Yeah. 'Cause I have no idea.
I
Like,
don't recall that everybody died. I think it was she was training up like 8 more Slayers because some weird thing happened because she had died, right? But
I remember
she
that.
came back, but her death triggered like 8
Yeah.
more. So there were 8 more that she was taking care of and training up. I think by the end of it, they all like ride off, and I think.
Yeah. Oh,
been a
yeah.
while.
She's definitely going to be like, she's
Oh.
going to have daughters. Maybe one of them's going to be a Slayer. It's like, you can see the whole story.
And then
coming.
Angel.
Angel
Yeah, David
ended with
Boreanaz,
the
is he
end
alive?
of the
End of
world.
the
Is
world.
Angel alive?
Yeah.
I remember that.
No,
yeah.
the world ended, and they rushed out to deal with it, like, and all apparently died in the very end of the show. But then,
you say apparently.
Apparently,
so
because-
that means they're coming back.
well, there was a so Joss Whedon, I guess, had written like, and then he went to comics, and so there's like a 7th canonical season of Angel as a comic. I think there's multiple seasons of Buffy. There's radio shows of Buffy. I mean, like it kept
TV's
going.
all that matters.
Yeah,
Whatever
well,
was on TV is all that matters.
there you go.
That's it.
All right, so that's Buffy the
Buffy.
Vampire Slayer, the movie that started it all.
Truly.
On Saturday Night Freak Show. We're going to go around the table and tell you what we thought of it. But first, we're going to read some of your mail. In order to do that, we're going to have to summon our mailman, Igor. Bring us the mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor. We already established he's a watcher.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Who's he training? Like,
That's not our
Holly.
business.
Me.
You killing?
I'm trained.
Killing some bitches?
Yeah.
Who have you killed lately?
I can't say.
Oh,
The Master.
Talk after.
Well,
the
just
show.
if you see
Hellmouth.
vampire corpses laying about, you know it was me.
There you
I
go.
haven't seen a lot. That's why I'm asking.
I
Well,
hide
we
them.
should.
Are we being infiltrated
I
right
dispose
now?
of them.
Okay.
I'm more responsible than she is.
There
All
you
right.
go.
So you're like Looper, and you put them down the chute into the fire.
Well,
and all that.
Maybe that's what the older Buffy has finally learned how to. Well, no,
Yeah.
hers
Get rid
turned
of?
to ash. That's
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say hers
Don't have
do
to worry
that.
about it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What era are we living in? Do they die like humans?
You don't want to know what they turn into.
Well, we should let the good folks at home know how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook
Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show.
or X,
At Sad Freak Show.
or by email,
SaturdayFreakShow@yahoo.com.
or on Threads and Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. About tonight's movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Travis Legler writes in and says, I knew of the TV show growing up, but I never knew it was a movie first, kind of like MASH. Sadly, I never watched the movie until the passing of Paul Rubens. His death scene is clearly not appreciated enough. This movie is fun to revisit. Good pick.
I think his
There you
death
go.
scene is appreciated quite a bit.
I think so.
It is, yeah.
I think so.
Singled out from this movie.
Yeah,
in
it's
particularly,
appreciated.
it's
Yeah.
appreciated.
Michael Whitaker says, I suppose I'd consider this the first girl movie that I really liked. And even though I was a fan of both Buffy and Angel, I think there's something about the movie I like just a little bit more. It's a corny in a B-movie sense. It feels self-aware. And on top of everything else, you got a fun performance from Pee Wee Herman, which is a nice reminder that on top of being a great character, Paul Rubens was a great actor too.
He
Heck,
was. He was
I
a very
still
good
find
actor.
myself saying kill her a lot.
Yeah, kill him a lot.
Kill him a lot.
Right? Like
It's
I want.
So great.
It's so sad that he passed because I wanted like really heartfelt roles for Paul Rubens in his later years and everything, and maybe he's done some of them, and I've missed them. But I feel like we didn't get a lot of Paul Rubens that we should have got.
Yeah.
He has a really amazing guest role on 30 Rock.
Of course he does.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, he
All right,
does.
Yes.
Michaela, I will watch 30
Just
Rock.
do it. Have to watch it. Sean, it's about making television.
I
You
know.
will love
I
it.
know.
You will love
is
it.
Right up my alley.
Yes.
It's so funny.
I know.
Oh, it's so funny.
I think it was now.
I know your
because
Studio 60 thing.
it came out at the same time, and I got infatuated.
But that was
with
20 years ago,
I know.
Sean. 20 years ago.
I know. I will
if
make
I
my
can,
way there.
if I can discover Buffy in my 30s,
There you go.
You can discover.
I can do it.
30
But as you know, with my tombstone debacle, it takes me a while, so I will get there.
Okay.
He's a busy man.
Just keep bugging me, Michaela.
Knock out Dazed and Confused first because that'll be
Yes.
quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then jump in
Do
30.
that. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Whitaker also, he talks to us about last week's movie, Silent Hill. So we were saying on that so the video game version of the town is located in Maine. I
Yes.
looked up after the fact.
Right.
Because I said it, I thought it was like a Northeastern kind of thing. But the movie is set in West Virginia because it's set after they incorporated the lore around a atoll called Centralia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Centralia,
Like a
which
burning
has
coal mine.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike says, I've been to Centralia, or at least as close to Centralia as you could get. There was a road called Graffiti Highway, which I
Nice.
don't believe it's the only way into town, but it's the main one. We got as far as Graffiti Highway. They were already pouring debris all over it to keep people away from driving in the town. And last I heard, they smoothed it out and covered the highway completely. That was a couple of years ago. So at one point, you could still go into the town. It's like a
Damn.
famous American ghost town.
Fascinating.
So the highway just ends then once you get to a certain range within the town? That's crazy.
Right? They're just like, no.
yeah.
Fascinating.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I love that we just block up
Yeah,
towns.
yeah. Just like you can go there
Or
anymore.
flood them and
Yeah, that
they're
too.
at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Breebrig41 says, I don't recall who said it, but I find it weird that you have to be American to create an American-based game. Just because it's American characters in game, I don't mean that an American game developer created it. Kind of odd thinking anyway. I've enjoyed the pod since 2013, talking about our Silent Hill episode. We were
Thank you.
talking about
We did talk about how like like Biohazard Resident Evil was,
Yep.
it's created as the Japanese created it, but they skin it as an American game.
most of their stuff, the Metal Gear,
Yeah.
Silent Hill, like, I think, well, you were saying I think the reason is because they're aware that the global market,
Yeah.
so they have Western characters in their video games. But yeah, I mean, I guess for a while was like, how come Japanese video games don't have like Japanese protagonists? But they do.
They do.
You're just not the big ones that were exported. That you're aware of.
It's just interesting, that whole industry.
Yep.
Who you're making it for.
All right, so now thank you each of you for writing in. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now we're going to go around the table and tell you what we thought of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, starting with
Michaela. What did you think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1992, the movie?
I'm disappointed I didn't grow up watching it because I think I would really liked it as a kid. I didn't see it until I was an adult, and I haven't seen it in 5 or 6 years, but it definitely lives up to my memory of I just remember it being colorful and fun and campy and not taking anything too seriously, but also not being too annoying with the humor, which I think is a fine line to walk. It's just a fun, campy, good time. It's the story is pretty slim, but it's because it's not spoon feeding you every detail you need to know, and that's fine. I would love to see more movies like this. I want movies like this to get made now because I want them to be a time capsule of what now looks like. I want more teenage coming of age with a horror twist movies. I would love that. Or even just a spooky twist. I'm that's what I was hoping that Chilling Adventures of Sabrina show would be, but that was devoid of time. It felt timeless.
Right.
It wasn't a time capsule. It was good, but it got really confusing. It's very CGI heavy. There was good things about it, but is not going to be memorable in any way like this movie was.
Yeah, that seemed like it would be a good version of this.
Yeah, you'd think so, but that's not how it was handled. It was very serious, very gothic,
Yeah.
But it's still good. It just, it could have been this, like you said. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, I had a great time with it. It was fun, held up exactly the way I remembered it, and that's a good thing. It's a good time. I feel like you kind of know whether you like it or not based on hearing about it because it's so ubiquitous in the pop culture by now. But yeah, definitely recommend it. Colin, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I can only put you in I saw it on its original release, and I have been a big vampire guy. I mean, just into So I go in. It's like a big screen, vampire movie, the first in several years, and so I guess I thought it was kind of mid, right? It was I don't know the tone of it wasn't serious enough. Maybe it seemed stagey and just kind of. I saw I guess that initially made me not want to see the show, but then when I saw the show after it ran, I think I also saw it when it had completed, not while it was a big cultural event, and then I was like, oh, this is actually the thing probably that I wanted to see to begin with, and so it eclipsed the movie, I guess, in my mind. Watching it again tonight, I'm sitting there, it's got a lot of the writing. It's the dialogue. The characters in the dialogue are quirky, and interesting, and that provides most of the interest. I like Christy Swanson. I like the people in it. It did feel like they're just not really given. I don't know. The plot is threadbare.
Yeah.
So I'm torn. I'm still going to recommend the movie. I think it was fun. I think it does what it sets out to do. It just wasn't what I was wanting, from it. And so still, when I watch it, I'm like, I wish this or I wish that. But that's not the movie that it is. So, I mean, it's a fun time. But I would prefer Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series, any day. Holly, what'd you think?
I love this movie. I make no mystery about it.
Qualms.
I love this movie. I grew up watching it. I mean, it was kind of perfect for me because it's a vampire movie that I could watch as a kid. Buffy was a hero to me. I thought she was just the coolest character. I think my favorite thing about tonight is I've watched this recently. I've seen this a lot. But I'm just reminded tonight that it's nice to go to a movie from my childhood that's a high school coming of age movie and it still holds up to me. Yeah. It would be so disappointing if I go back and oh, this is really stupid. And it has its moments. It's a cute movie. It's a fun movie. It's not to be taken seriously, but it's just a feel good movie. And I'm glad it still holds up to me because that's just the worst thing. Like when you go back and watch Saved by the Bell for the first time since you're a kid and you realize how stupid that show is. It's such a disappointing thing. But yeah, this movie still holds up. I think it's just delightful. If you're looking for like a serious vampire movie, this is not the movie for you. But I love it. I think it's charming. I think it's great. I liked the show a lot, but this is my Buffy. So yeah, highly recommend, obviously. Sean, take us home.
Yep. Holly, I'm on the same ground as you. This is my Buffy, and it's just nice to watch it tonight. It's just nice.
It's like a warm hug.
It's like a hug. It's like a hug, and I liked it. It's good. I hadn't watched it in, I think, many years, but again, when I watched a lot when I was younger, and watching tonight, it's just like it's charming. It's just charming, easy, not too complicated, and which is just a lovely movie. Yeah.
To me, my double feature is My Boyfriend's Back and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There you go. Which again, the boyfriend shows up in this movie, so there you go. Yeah, just a warm. It warmed my heart watching it tonight, and that's what I love about this movie. Again, it doesn't get too complicated. It doesn't need to, and I love it that it doesn't. And it's just it's funny. It's just warm. It's got great. Every actor ever is in it, and they're all doing like their best. Steve Root's in this for like maybe 2 minutes total,
So
and he's just like fucking knocks out of the park. Like, and that's pretty much it for everybody in this.
Yeah.
Even David Arquette's doing like just fun work, and yeah, I love it. It was just a reassuring movie. It's just like
We needed that feel good.
we did. I needed it tonight. I think that's why I picked them. Just like, I need just something that's just like not gonna like knock anybody for a loop. We're just gonna go in and probably like all appreciate it, and just like, yep, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is my Buffy. I recommend it. You should all watch it. It's still good.
Feels good.
Yep, feels good. I feel good after tonight. I like it. All right, recommended.
All right, so that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Next week, we're going to be watching a movie that's chosen by
Holly, I chose your movie, so you can't pick it. What are you going to pick next week?
I'm taking a play from Michaela's playbook.
Ooh.
We're watching a canon movie.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
We're watching a movie called Tough Guys Don't Dance.
All right. Anybody in this that we know?
Ryan O'Neal and Isabella Rossellini.
Oh, wow.
Directed-
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Directed by Norman Mailer.
Oh, is this like their attempt at like an art house movie?
Get ready.
All right. You said all the words that I'm interested in, and I love it. Norman Mailer?
Yes.
All right, so that's next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. We hope you'll join us for that. Until then, the basement is going dark.